So, how we doing? People coming in, people still coming in. We got 2 minutes until we're going live. So, guys, last chance. Get comfortable, relax, get ready for an adventure.
Get your wine ready.
Get your wine ready. If you got some wine, get your glasses. And
Let's make magic.
it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait. That's cute. Yeah, to you too as well, Connie. Okay. So, 1:59. You got 1 more minute, guys. Come on. All the slow coaches slowly coming in. Actually, they're on time. We're a little bit early, so I can't be too mean. Working with Spirit for a few years and just learning about wine last year. That's great, Cloudy. How good is that? Singapore? Awesome. Yeah, Cloudy, that's what it's all about. That's wine. There's no end to how much you can learn. It's so much fun. Okay. Rico from Singapore. Man, we got people everywhere. This is great. Okay, 1:59, a little bit more. All right, 2 o'clock.
There we go.
That's it. Let's do it. So let's get these slides. I've got some great slides for you today. Can everybody see? Can you see the slides? All good? All right, let's get into it. Okay, so welcome everyone to the Magic of Orange Wines, presented by the Online School of Winecraft and Wineries. Okay, I'm only joking. It's presented by winemasterclass.com. And boy, do we have an awesome presentation for you guys. So today presenting is myself, Marco Volpato, and my girlfriend, Natalia. So she's going to be answering some comments and questions. And she's also known as the Russian Hermione. She's got a Gryffindor shirt on, ready to go. But I want to introduce myself. My name is Marco Volpato. And 1 second, I just want to check the top camera is working. I think I've frozen up there. Give me a moment. I'll reset it. Hear me? Back. Okay. There we go. So, again, I'll start again. My name is Marco Volpato. And I was voted Hong Kong and Macau's #1 Italian wine importer. I teach people about wine. That's what I love doing. So this is why I founded Wine Masterclass, so I can bring the information to you guys. As you can see, not like the photo, I no longer have hair. And I'm also an Aussie. So I grew up in Australia and I bounced back and forth between Sydney and Hong Kong. So today, you guys are going to become orange wine experts. So here's what you're going to discover. This is what we're going to go through. We're going to talk about what orange wine is, why it's so freaking delicious. We're going to show you 3 amazing wineries and their stories as well. And then I'm going to tie that into the Weasley family, okay? So we're going to look at which orange wines pair with which Weasley, okay? And then towards the end, we'll go into a Q&A. So if you have questions, you can leave some questions in the comment box and Natalia will mark them and then I can answer them at the end, okay? And guys, we're going to discover so much more. So you got to stay with me. It's going to be a lot of fun. And like I said, at the end, we've got a special attendee offer, okay? This is something that I'm super, super excited to bring to you guys. And I think you're going to love it, okay? So we'll reveal that at the end. But in the meantime, we got a ton of value. So one last thing. Last time we did a masterclass, some people thought that the video was two-way. Don't worry, we can't see what you're doing, whether you're in your pajamas or not. It's just one way, okay? So you can see us. And like I said, ask some questions. We want to hear you, what your questions are, you know? Our goal here is to teach you about wine. So any questions, don't hesitate to ask. All right, so we're going to do a little bit of prep, okay? Because I want to warm you up and then we're going to get into the adventure. So for those of you out there, I've tried to simplify the language of wine, okay? So when I talk about tannins, I'm talking about how grippy the wine is, right? In your mouth, is it really grippy or is it quite smooth and velvety? Aroma or nose or bouquet is just smell. Palate, when I say, oh, I get, honey on the palate, that just is a taste. It's a flavor. The body, okay? So when someone talks about the body of a wine, you can think of this as, does it feel like you're drinking milk? Is it heavier? Or is it very light, like a sparkling water or something like that, and just kind of dances on the tongue? Finish. That just means how long does the flavor last once you've swallowed the wine. Acidity. Is it like lemon juice? Does it give you that little sour in the jaw? Or is it like water? Is it just very mild? And balance. When we talk about balance, this is a combination of all these things, right? Is the sugar, the alcohol, the tannins, and the acid in harmony? And if they're in harmony, then that's what we call a balanced wine. So next slide, here we go. Winemaking terms, just 4 of them. Maturing is just when they age the wine before the bottle, in oak, in cement, something like that. Aging is, of course, when you age the wine in the bottle. Fermentation is when you squish the grapes, it releases yeast and turns the sugar in the grapes into alcohol. That's why we get drunk. And harvest, that's just when they pick the grapes, okay? So, question time. Nat, launch the first question. What do you think is orange wine? So we've launched a poll. I want everybody to vote. I want to see what everybody thinks. I know we have some experts in here. Okay, 2 answers, 3. Oh,
White wine.
Wow, we got a couple of them. Type of red wine, type of white wine, or a wine made with oranges. So we've got a few people. 50% of you have voted. Come on, everybody else. We want to see what the true. All right. Let it go for a little bit longer. Type of red wine, type of white wine, or is it a wine made with oranges? Okay. All right, that's it. We're going to reveal the answer, and it's white wine. Okay, but I put the little asterisk there because I want to explain what orange wine actually is. So orange wine is just a white wine that is made like a red wine. So once they squish the grapes, instead of taking the skins away straight away, they leave the skins in the juice to soak for a bit so they can extract more flavor. And this means that wine is going to give you more intensity. You're going to get a more deeper color, and you're going to have actually a little bit of tannins, like a little bit of grippiness, like a red wine would. So thank you everyone who voted. So whoever voted for white wine, a type of white wine, you're correct. And for everyone else, we're going to teach you a little bit more about orange wine, so don't worry. So that's enough preparation. Let's get straight into the presentation. So another question. Nat, let's launch it. Which Weasley family member do you think is going to be first? Now, this is just a complete guess, right? There's no way you could know unless you're, been spying. Okay, Ron, the twins. All right. Any other answers? 3 answers? Come on, guys. We need some more. 20% of you. 4 answers. All right. Come on, guys. 4 answers. All right. I'm not going to wait too long. Arthur, we got 2 for Arthur, 2 for the twins. Ron, we got 1 for Molly. Okay. No Ginny. All right. Interesting. 50% of you voted. All right. Excuse me. Let's get into the answer. The first character is Molly Weasley. So whoever voted Molly Weasley, you're spot on. You guessed correctly. Okay. So what do you think of when you think of Molly Weasley? What comes to mind? Because for me, when I think of Molly Weasley, I think a very warm, welcoming person, right? But she's also quite strong. She's the matriarch of the family. She takes care of them. She brings Harry in when he's in need, as well as Hermione. So these are some of the traits that I get: warmth, generosity, that sort of thing. And so the first wine I picked is, let's get Hermione to reveal. we got a bit of magic here today.
We're gonna learn some magic here. Ace. Wingardium Leviosa.
Woohoo! So, first wine is this beautiful wine from Kos in Sicily. Okay, this is the Zabibbo in Pithos 2018. It's a incredible wine. Let's get into it. So here's why I picked it to match with Molly Weasley. Like I said, very generous, okay? If you know some of the owners of Cos, Giusto Occhipinti and his two mates, they're very generous people. They're very welcoming, very warm. And so I thought this is the perfect wine for that. Also, Molly Weasley is a pro at apparition, which means taking you to another place, and nonverbal magic. And this wine takes you to another place. It is one of the most delicious wines you'll ever taste. And you don't need words to describe it. Honestly, it just tastes like magic when you drink it. And another little note, the bottle itself, Molly Weasley in the books is described as short and stumpy. And as you can see, it's a pretty short and stumpy bottle. So one extra little point there. Okay, so I want to show you where it is, where this winery is located. So as you can see on the map here, we have Italy, and right down the bottom in the island off the tip of the boot is Sicily. Okay, and this is where the wine is from. This is where the winery is. If you look on the map here, you can see that it's not too far from the coast. And in the background, if you can see that mountain, that's actually Mount Etna. So that's a live, active volcano on the island of Sicily. And so they have a very, very interesting soil composition down here, which gives you just a delicious, delicious wine. These are some of the clay pots that they make the wine in. So they're very different to a lot of the other winemakers who do it in oak and different things like that. At Cos, they use terracotta pots. So this is a side view of one of the pots that they bury 1 to 2 feet down in the ground, okay? And we'll talk a little bit about them in a second. But as you can see here is Giusto and Gianbattista. These are two of the founders. And you can see what Giusto is picking up out of this pot. It's the skins, okay? It's the pulp of the wine that they leave there. Instead of taking it away, because they're making an orange wine, they let it soak and it just extracts all these juicy flavors, okay? So really, really cool. Next up, we have a closer view of these terracotta pots, and you can see them. They're like buried right down into the soil, okay? And they put a clamp on top so they don't get contaminated. They put a little metal rim, but it's one of the most interesting ways of making wine you've ever seen, okay? So here are some interesting winery facts, right? This style of storing wine dates back to 6000 BC, right? It's a Georgian style of making wine. And when they wanted to get the terracotta pots, they had a waiting list of 5 years, okay? So they went to Spain. All these terracotta pots are from Spain, and they had to wait 5 years just to get the pots, okay? And the reason they want the pots is that Giusto believes, like I do as well, the wine needs to breathe, okay? And in other containers like cement and steel, there's no breathing. But in terracotta, the wine can actually breathe through the terracotta because it's porous. So as the wine is maturing, it's breathing and it's slightly oxidizing, okay? So interesting facts about the wine. This guy here stays on skins for 7 months. So they leave the skins in the terracotta pot with the wine for 7 months. And then they take them out and they'll usually leave it for another 5 months. So maximum 1 year of aging. And then they put it in the bottle and it's up for resale after that. This is also a great wine if you hate hangovers, okay? Because this is low in sulfites and it's low in alcohol. And sulfites, they give you a hangover, and the lower you can, they're essentially a preservative, okay? So when you're shipping wine around the world, you do need some sort of robustness to keep it in tasting nice. But these guys don't use sulfites because it actually changes the taste of the wine, in my opinion anyway. So no hangover if you drink this bad boy. And another fact, which is really interesting to me, is that Zibibbo is part of the Moscato family. And Zibibo is one of the oldest grapes in the world. Okay, so it's another name for the Moscato di Alexandria, and it's from Egypt. Okay, so as you know, the Weasleys went on a holiday to Egypt and came back. So I think they brought back some Zibibo with them when they came back. Now, for the fun part, let's get into it. We're going to taste the wines. So I'm going to stop sharing the
Seems to happen when you switch the screen.
Okay. Well, in future, I'll
Thanks for
know.
noting.
Yeah, thanks, Alex. Okay, so let's get back to this one. So the color, right? I'll show you again. This isn't really a super drink more. Yeah, absolutely. This isn't really orange in terms of the color, right? But it is an orange wine because it's been left on the skins for about 6 to 7 months. Okay, so this is beautiful on the nose. When you're smelling it,
Being in the summer in a blossoming garden near the sea, you feel the summery breeze. It's warm, it's salty, and the flower like a nectar of the orange flowers. It's on the nose. It smells very sweet and a little citrusy.
well, I don't even need to describe it. You heard it from her. That's spot on. So Juan says it looks like a sweet wine. It does look like a sweet wine. It smells like a sweet wine, but it's super bone dry when you drink it. So when you're swirling it, okay, I don't know if I'm repeating myself because the sound went off, but when you swirl it, the reason you do this is because you want to give it the most surface area you can so it can breathe, okay? It's been stuck in the bottle for a long time. So when you get it out, swirl it around, let it breathe a bit, and don't put too much in the glass, okay? Because the more you put, the less room it is to swirl it around. So swirl it around, and what you're doing now is it's building up all the aromas, all the delicious aromas in the top of the glass. And then you just stick your nose in, basically. And the flavors on the nose is just incredible. You get apricot, you get citrus, you can smell the freshness, right? And when you drink it, cheers.
Cheers, man. Cheers, guys. On what I was tasting with the first sip was salty water.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's not sweet at all. It's very balanced and rounded, with like the saltiness balanced with acidity.
Yeah, it's a very balanced wine,
sweet
and you get beautiful, fresh acidity. And acidity is, like I said, it's that little bit of not sourness, but it makes your mouth water. And you want acidity in a wine because it makes you want to keep drinking the wine, and it keeps it fresh, keeps it interesting, gives it a bit of life. So beautiful, fresh acidity here. There is lovely saltiness to it, minerality. Like I showed you in the map, it's quite close to the sea. Okay, so it's a wine that really has absorbed all of the flavors from the land. And Justo talks about the land as though it's their kind of safety deposit, right? It's their savings account. And so they do everything they can to take care of the land because that's what produces these delicious wines. So with that in mind,
we have a couple questions.
We have a couple questions, okay.
So Alex is asking if it's a full-bodied wine.
I wouldn't say it's full-bodied. It's quite light on the palate. It's not overwhelming. It's not one of those syrupy sweet wines, okay? So very, very fresh. This is a wine that you drink during the day. You don't have to have this after dinner or something like that. This is perfect for fresh meals, seafood, sushi, grilled veggies, barbecue, that sort of stuff. It's just really amazing.
Happy hour wine.
Exactly. So the wine has high minerality because of the volcanic soil. Yeah, absolutely. So it's not as close as some other wineries that are right near Mount Etna, but it does absorb a lot of the minerality and the salinity from the soil that it's in. Okay.
And I also want to say that the wine lasts, this taste in your mouth lasts for quite a long time.
Yeah.
So it has a long finish.
Long finish. Absolutely.
And it's kind of changed. The finish is different from what you taste when the wine tastes. It's hard to explain. It's nice.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just a nice wine.
Herby.
It's just a nice wine. All right, let's continue. No more drinking on the wine.
I'll keep that.
Okay, so this was the first one, Cos Zibibbo 2018. Absolutely delicious. So now we've got to be careful with the sound here. I'm going to go back to the presentation, and I just want to make sure that the slides, that the sound is still working. So can everybody still hear me? It's still good? Sound is okay? Looks okay? All right, so
Awesome.
Beautiful. Okay, the Zibibbo in Pithos 2018. So orange blossom on the nose, really delicious. We got peach, mango, citrus, those sorts of flavors. When you drink it, you do get the apricot, right? Honey, there's melon, nectarine. When we're talking in terms of balance, there's a very fresh acidity. But like I was saying, smells sweet on the nose, but when you drink it, it's bone dry, okay? You get a nice long finish. It's a medium body. And I would pair it with sushi or chargo veggies or something like that. I think that'd be amazing, okay?
Vegan wine with vegan dishes.
Yes, and it's a vegan wine. So we've had some questions, so I think we can just continue. Let's get on to it. So the next Weasley family member is the twins. So technically it's not the family members, not member, but we wanted to do the twins. They're super cheeky. They're very fascinating. And we found the perfect wine that matches with it. Okay. So what comes to mind when you think of the twins? For me, it's cheeky, it's mischievous, it's not abiding by the rules. And it's, you know, they're in their own lane. They don't really care what other people say, and they don't care if they say something that people don't agree with, right? That's who they are, and that's what the wine we have picked represents, okay? So the wine I picked for this one is, we got some magic happening. Okay, this is Dettori Bianco. This is a Vermentino. Let me get the angle right. This is a Vermentino from the island of Sardinia, okay? It's a 2017, and it is positively delicious, okay? So here's why I picked this wine. The twins are rule breakers, and so is Alessandro Dettori, okay? He doesn't care what you think of him. He doesn't care what the standard for the region is. He does what he wants. And I want to read you what he's written on the back of the bottle, okay? So it says, not filtered, not clarified, no wooden barrels. Give time to rest, and there might be some CO2 remaining. So every bottle is going to be different. We are simply modest-sized wine artisans. Sorry, but we don't follow the market. We produce wines that we like, wines from our culture. They are what they are and not what you want them to be. So if that's not the perfect fit for the twins, I don't know what is. I mean, it's just so spot on with their mentality as well. So it's unfiltered, which means it's a little bit cloudy most of the time. And obviously the twins don't filter what they say either. They're pretty unfiltered. And if you didn't know, like in Harry Potter, when the Weasley twins dropped out, Alessandro Dettori dropped out of wine school twice because he didn't agree with the way they taught wine. It was more about a science and not like passion for him, right? So he wanted to really know how to make wine that's from the culture, not the scientific terms and that sort of stuff, okay? So he's a dropout, they're a dropout. And if you look on the map here, we can see that it's in the top of the island in Sardinia, okay? And Sardinia is a beautiful, beautiful place. It's right near the island of Corsica, which is technically France. And you can see it's quite a bit off the coast of Italy there. And these guys are right up the tip. So you can see here in the background, the mountains of Corsica. These guys are also quite close to the sea. Excuse me. So they get a lot of minerality, a lot of freshness coming up. Okay. It's a really, really beautiful place. Look at the view here, right? This is their winery. This looks out at the ocean, and you can see there's that haze of the sea breeze, right? The saltiness that comes up from the sea and just brushes the vineyards, right? Oxygenates them, helps them breathe, keeps them alive. It's a really beautiful place. These are the grapes, right? These are the Vermentino grapes. So just you look at the color of these and you know what's going to be in the wine, okay? And this is them taking the skins out of the vats, okay? So these guys have a little bit of a different way of leaving the wine on the skins, okay? So interesting winery facts. In 2008, De Torri, the winery, was attacked by mildew, okay? And it destroyed almost all of their vines. And there is preventative measures you can take using chemicals. But Alessandro De Torri said, I would rather lose some grapes than poison the earth. So instead of producing 45,000 bottles that year, that's their annual production, they produced only 2,000 bottles because they disagree with using chemicals, okay? And this philosophy translates over into their cellar, okay? So their cellar is assisted by gravity, which means they use gravity to move the wine around, okay? So they have the vat here, they have the cement storing here, and they kind of use gravity to flow the wine onto the next stage, which means they use less machine pumps and that sort of thing. So that's an interesting thing. And in 1998, Alessandro De Torri decided that instead of selling most of their grapes in bulk, like they usually would, he wanted to make wine. So this was a very, very important time in De Torri's history because this is when they went from grape growers to winemakers. So winery stats. This guy only has 3 to 12 days maceration, right? So Zibibbo had 7 months, okay? These guys only leave it from 3 to 12 days. You maybe even just, 6, 7 days they leave it on the skins, okay? But the thing is, fermentation starts 2 to 3 days after you crush the grapes, okay? This is only around 7,000 bottles per year. So it's not a very big production. And it has 0 chemicals, 0 sulfites, nothing like that. So, question time. What % alcohol do you think this bottle of De Torri is? Okay, so Nat, launch the poll. It's on. All right, so what % alcohol do you think this De Torri is? Okay, we got 16, 12, 14. So just a clue, maybe, the cos was 11.5, okay? So the cos was 11.5. What do you think the De Torri is? So we've got 53% of the people have voted. So we've got a lot for 12, 14, 16, 14. Pretty close.
Cos was on the skin for a very long time and De Torri for a very small time.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Okay, no more answers coming in. Oh, there we got some more, 69%. So we got everybody voting. Nobody's chosen 18. Probably wise. Okay. Wow, it's all split. It's completely split. Okay, so the answer is, and to the 4 people that voted this, congratulations, 16% alcohol. This is a big boy. And I want to explain when we're tasting it why this is important, because at 16%, you would expect to taste a lot of alcohol, but this wine is so balanced that it's actually dangerous. You can drink it and not even notice the alcohol and enjoy it, really. So let's taste. Time to taste.
Hermione's coming.
So I'm just going to make sure the alcohol, the microphone is working. I think we're still good. I think we're still good. All right. So this is exciting. This is exciting.
They're saying that every bottle is different.
Absolutely.
So we don't 100% know what it's going to taste like, because from what we've tried out before, it could be different.
Let me put it so you can see.
You can see little bubbles inside.
That's right. So look at this wine. I mean, that is just delicious. Look at the color. It's, like I said before, it's not filtered. Okay, so it's quite cloudy. They don't filter it. They don't want to. They don't think it's necessary. And sometimes when they filter wines, they use animal products to actually filter it. So
not
Totori. Yeah. No, yeah. But sometimes they use other people use animal products to filter it. So these guys disagree with that, and they just say, no, we don't want to filter it. We'll leave it how it is. So let's get some air into it.
Oh my God. This smells so sweet.
Wow. This smells like it's got that salinity as well, that saltiness. Wow.
Oh. It's hard to explain it. It's just so
Let me smell, Adam. Yeah, so we're using different glasses. I'm using all the same, but Nat's got all different glasses because glasses make a big difference, actually. And the perfect glass would just be to drink wine out of the air, right? Out of this invisible wine glass that just pours into your mouth, because you don't want it to contact anything. And this is why some of the top wine glasses have almost razor thin edges, because essentially it's just pouring the wine out of the air. So anyway,
for me, it smells like caramelized or preserved peaches or nectarines. So this is something like
has those like a can of peaches sort of.
Oh, it's delicious. I wish you could smell that and try that.
Okay, let's taste. Wow.
It is sweet.
That's incredible. That is so different to the cos. Obviously, they're different grapes. They're completely different areas and that sort of thing. But it's just incredible. Yeah, I get peaches for sure, but it has that beautiful.
On a taste, it's more of a melon to me.
Yes, the green melon.
Oh, that's
it's that sweet honeydew. It's honeydew. When you taste this, it's just delicious. It's that beautiful honeydew flavor. That's incredible.
But also salty, like the minerality. Yeah.
It's right near the sea, and it gets all the sea breeze that comes up. This is why you get that beautiful minerality. So it's really, really nice.
It has a little punch on your tongue, probably because of the amount of alcohol. It like pinch you, or like.
It feels a little bit frizzy.
Frizzy, yes, yeah. yes.
Has a bit of
frizzy, really.
Has a bit of frizziness to it, if that makes sense. You feel it like kind of, it's almost like electric on the tongue, right? It has this little slight electrical vibe. It's just amazing.
It's very enjoyable.
So I'll show you the comparison of the colors here, right? So we're slowly getting a little bit darker. But these are actually, for an orange wine, they're not that orange, you know?
I taste more apple right now. It's obviously opening up, and it changes a little bit, so that melon transforms, like gets together with apple now.
Wow.
I like it.
Well, you liked it when we were there.
That's true.
We tried this in where was it? Sestri Levante on the coast. And
just last
I had this with a sea urchin pasta, and it was probably the best pairing I've ever had in my life. Like, it was just amazing. It went so well. The saltiness of this with the sea urchin and just...
I remember the taste being a little different, though.
It was different, but that's what they said on the bottle. Every bottle is different.
And the color was different. Color was
more orange. Color was more orange.
Here we go.
All right. That's good. All right. That's enough tasting of this one. Let's continue. I'll bring this microphone back forward. I just want to check the sound is still good. All right. I'll get the slides back on. Everybody can still hear me? Looking good? Okay, so the Bianco Romagna 2017. This has beautiful citrus, dried fruits, flowers, and honey. And on the palate, you get some orange peel, honey, lemon, chamomile. You do get those canned peaches as well on the nose, which is a great analogy. And actually, honeydew is what I was getting as well. Okay, so this is super intense. I mean, when you drink it, it's just like an explosion of flavors in your mouth. It's really phenomenal. It's a bit fuller bodied. Okay, so this was quite light body, medium, I would say, the cos. This one's getting a little bit heavier, a little bit thicker, but still just so enjoyable. And there's a slight bit of oxidation. Like I said, the pairing, sea urchin pasta or seafood, it's a no-brainer. It's absolutely delicious. So any questions about the Dettori? If no questions, we're just going to keep moving. Okay. So talk lots about location as well as topography. How about the effects of weather? Absolutely. The weather is a big factor. And a lot of the time, Justo has a great analogy that he said, and this is Justo is the owner of Cos. He said, drinking a wine is like reading the weather diary for that year. So that, if that doesn't tell you about how much weather affects wine, it I don't know what will, because when you're drinking a wine, of course the weather affects it, right? Is it really hot and sunny all day? It's going to give it a lot of sugar, which is going to make a bigger, stronger wine. Okay, so in Sardinia, they have a lot of sun. Okay, and these guys are positioned near the sea, so they have high sugar, higher alcohol. I mean, these guys have some wines that are 18%, which will blow your minds. They're so good. So yeah, weather affects it a lot. The breezes, the winds, how oxygenated are the vines. Last 2 weeks ago, we did a masterclass with Tiruppi, and they had wines from Como that just, the vines were just lapping up all that oxygen. So yeah, weather affects it a lot. Thank you for the question. That's a great question. Okay, any other questions? Otherwise, we'll keep moving. All right, I think we'll just keep moving. Okay, so the last family member of the Weasley family is Arthur Weasley. So I know a lot of you thought there might be Ron thrown in there somewhere, but I wanted to mix it up a bit. And actually, Ron is quite a hard person to pair a wine with. So we decided to go with something a little bit different. So we've done the parents and the twins. Okay, so we got Arthur Weasley here. Now, what comes to mind when you think of Arthur? The first thing I think of personally is how much of a hard worker this guy is. Always you see him working super hard, coming home tired, that sort of stuff, but he loves what he does. He can't get enough. He's so passionate about his work, and he cares so much about the job that he takes it quite seriously, right? And so this was the general theme for the next wine that I picked, okay? So the wine I picked to represent Arthur Weasley is none other than, we got some magic. Can we do magic?
Do you have one?
And up. It is Damian Podversik Nekai. Okay, bit of a tongue twister, but a tongue pleaser. This thing is amazing. Okay, so this is the Nekai 2011. Some people say Nekaj, Nekai. Russian Hermione. says something I can't pronounce, but so this is from Damian in Friuli, Venezia, Giulia. Okay, so this is up north in Italy. So, like I said, the reason I picked this to represent Arthur is the oldest. Okay, it's debated whether Molly or Arthur is older, but for the sake of this wine, we'll say that Arthur is older. Hardworking, right? Damian Podversik, the winemaker and the owner of this winery, works 364 days a year to make sure the grapes are perfect. Okay. This guy is a real farmer. He's got huge farmer hands. He uses them all the time. Everything's handpicked and he loves it. He's passionate about it. So these are the reasons that I picked this wine to show you. So if we look at the map, this guy is right up north in Italy. Okay. Basically Slovenia. Okay. Former Yugoslavia. He's super high up in Italy and right on the border. Okay, if you can see this map, where the red dot is, that's where the winery is. And if you look to the right a little bit, there's a river and a town. Okay, the border for Slovenia cuts through the middle of that town. So they're so close to Slovenia. It's basically Slovenian wine, if I can say that. But it's absolutely delicious. So this is a picture of the winery. As you can see, Damian has got some people pruning and maintaining all of the vineyards by hand. And they sit on these little two-wheeler scooter things and they scoot along and they trim and prune the vines to make sure that the grapes are absolutely perfect for the wine. This is the man himself, Damian. And as you can see here, there are huge oak vats where he does the maceration of the wines. And maceration is just a fancy word for letting the skins soak with the juice, basically, to simplify it. And these are the grapes. Look at these little balls of sunshine. It just looks delicious, right? And you can imagine what the wine is going to be like just looking at these grapes. So, question time. Nat, let's launch the next question. How many bottles of Nekai do you think that he produces? So we got the questions up. So we got 4 options: 2,000 bottles, 5,000 bottles, 10,000 bottles, or 40,000 bottles. Okay, people are voting. 7, 8 answers. All right. 5,000 is pretty popular. No 40,000. Interesting. Okay, we'll let it go a little bit longer. 60% of the audience has voted. Oh, come on, guys. Let's get that 100. I want to see what everyone thinks. 67, 12 answers. All right. So I'm going to reveal what it is. The answer is not on this slide, but it's 2,000 bottles. It's 2,000 bottles, guys. So whoever voted for 2,000 bottles, you nailed it. So super small production. And part of the reason that the production is so small, that if I'm going to skip straight to the third point here, Damian throws away a third of his grapes every year if they're not up to scratch. He doesn't care about making lots of wine. He cares about quality wine. And this is because he was trained under Josko Gravner. So if you've ever heard of Gravner wines, Damian was essentially mentored by this man. And Josko was telling him, or Josko, he told him to not worry about wasting grapes, anything like that. He said, don't waste time making bulk wine. You want to focus on quality. Okay, so this is the methodology that's driven this to become such a great winery. And in fact, when Damian started giving away a third of all the grapes, just letting them kind of die or throw away, he and his father had a big fight because his father disagreed. He said, you're going to starve. You're throwing away all of the grapes, you know, and they didn't talk for 8 years because of this. But they made up eventually, and then Damian became very close towards the end of Damian's father's life. So really, really fascinating story here. And just as fascinating as the story of the winery is the story of this wine in particular. This spends 4.5 years going from grape to glass. And in this case, it's a 2011, so even longer. But this is because he leaves the skins to soak with the wine for 60 to 90 days. Okay, so we had, with this one here, Cos, we had 7 months, 6 to 7 months. With this one here, we had 3 to 12 days. And this guy is about a month to a month and a half. So you can see it completely different. And the length that you leave the wine on the skins isn't an indication of the quality. It varies greatly between different wineries. But Damian likes to call these wines golden wines, not orange wines, because he thinks if it's orange, then it's oxidized and it's not that great. So he's quite passionate about his own field of study. And 2011, the year that this bottle came out, he calls it an AC/DC year, right? So other years that are a little bit colder and damper give you more Beethoven, right? More symphonic, aromatic wines. He said 2011 is powerful, right? It was hot, there was lots of sugar, and there was no noble rot, okay? Sometimes some mold can affect the grapes, but in 2011, there was none of that. And that's because it was dry. You know, in mold usually comes about in damp conditions, okay? So let's taste this. Let's taste it. Come on, Nat.
Yeah, do you mind giving me 1 second? I'm going to stop the live and start it again.
It's all right. Cool? Yeah, no problem. I'm going to stop this slide, and I want to make sure the microphone's still working. Looks like it's still working. Yep, good. Thank you, Alex. You're really sharp with the comments there. So,
I'm coming.
I haven't seen this wine in a long time, but I'm going to guess that the color is absolutely phenomenal. So I want you to look at the color when it comes out. Oh boy. Oh boy.
I just wanted to make a magic trick of disappearing number one, but wow.
Okay, guys, this is the bottle.
That's more orange.
Nekai. Okay, the grape is Friulano, which is Tokai. It's another name for Tokai, and it's a very common grape in that area. So I'll put this guy here, turn him towards. But look at the color of this wine. Now I know. Now you can see why he calls it a golden wine. It's not even orange. Honestly, today we haven't had orange wines. It's been mostly white looking and orange and golden. But I mean, look at this. This is just incredible. It was good about this. The color is like Tokai. Yeah, about to say, yeah, you're spot on, Alex. It is Tokai. Oh, so straight away, I get honey.
I get like a muscat.
Almost, but I think it Moscato has a little bit more lychee to it, in my opinion. This is more like raw honey, something like that.
Caramel apple.
I mean, it makes sense. The color looks like liquid sunshine. I mean, you saw the grapes. Look how it translates into the bottle. It's just incredible. Wow. So this is unfiltered, but
it's clear.
It's quite clear. Okay. So unfiltered, quite clear. Slosh it around a bit, no problems.
Doesn't affect the table.
Wow. That's incredible. All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
Let's taste.
Cheers. I love the smell. It's nice.
Whoa. I get this rush of acidity that just comes, like covers your whole mouth, and then
it's an explosion.
It's an explosion. Guy, I don't know. I wish you could taste what we're tasting, because that's the only way you'll understand. It is amazing when you drink it. It's like nothing you've ever tasted. It just kind of hits the mouth and just explodes. So it's 15.5%.
Wow.
A little bit higher than,
really?
Well, quite a bit higher, but not as high as 16, but still it's a big wine. And this is because lots of juicy sugar. Okay. The more sugar, the more the yeast turns into alcohol. So this is why in hot places you usually get big, pretty alcoholic wines.
I taste apple juice.
Yes, apple juice.
Chamomile.
I get chamomile as well. I get caramel.
Caramel. It's a little bitter.
Even like roast almonds, I get. Wow. Very, very nice. And when I do that funny sound with my mouth, I'll show you. All I'm doing there is another version of this, okay? So I'm aerating it here. And then when I put it in my mouth, I want to just breathe in and kind of bubble it a bit, get some oxygen in there, let it breathe. I've got to say one thing. This is the longest finish of all of them. I can still taste all the flavor.
I just keep drinking, so I need to.
I mean, this is just, what about sugar level?
Yeah.
Sugar level in these sort of orange wines can be quite high. I don't know the exact sugar level for this. I don't think it says.
You probably can judge a little bit by the alcohol level.
Yeah.
As higher the alcohol, as higher the sugar. But
if a lot of the sugar is turned into alcohol, it doesn't have to be that sugary, right? So depending on the alcohol level won't always tell you how sweet it is, because we have a Sirocco that's 5% alcohol, but it's very sweet. And a lot of that is because some of the sugar hasn't been turned into alcohol. It's just left in the wine and it gives it a beautiful sweetness. So if there's lots of sugar, there is a chance that the wine can keep turning that sugar into alcohol, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be a high alcohol wine.
The aftertaste, I just want to mention that it gives me a little bit of oaky.
Yes, absolutely. That's a good point. So this guy, Cos, was in clay amphora, okay? Clay pots, terracotta. This guy is in cement, okay? 2 to 3 years aging in cement. This guy is in oak. So there's no set way to make a wine. And they all produce completely different wines. So Alex asked, would I call it a sweet wine? I mean, no. It feels like it, and it definitely looks like it. But to me,
I would say
it's not a sweet. But just the color is just.
Color is beautiful.
I mean, it's
personally for me, out of those three wines, the Cos was the driest. Mm-hmm. The Titori was the sweetest.
Yeah, and this is somewhere in between.
Somewhere in between. I agree with the longest finish. The second longest was Zibibbo.
Yeah.
And Titori has the lightest
shortest
finish.
So as you can see, it's completely different. I mean, just a phenomenal wine. So that's enough of watching us enjoy it. We're making a few people jealous. Let's get to the slides. I want to show you some notes, and then we're going to get on to the surprise, which you've all been waiting for, which I am so excited to show you. Okay, so some notes. The Nakai 2011, honey, dried apricot, spices, and cinnamon on the nose. It's delicious, right? Then when you drink it, you get some almonds, like we were saying, some caramel, some apricot. It's bone dry. I wouldn't say bone dry, actually. I made these notes earlier. I was tasting some other bottles, but it's dry, but it's not as dry as the Bibbo. So it does have, however, that buttery feeling on the palate. It just is like, it's liquid sunshine, basically. I mean, if the color doesn't tell you, the feeling will. It's super round and just delicious. Outstanding length. I can still feel it in my mouth. It's just amazing. And it does give you a little bit of those tannic properties. So it's a little bit grippy. What about the price range of all of them? So the price range for them, they're not cheap. I wouldn't say they're cheap, but they're not super expensive as well. You're gonna spend, I would say, $300 Hong Kong dollars on this one here. This is the most expensive at the end. This is about 500 or 600 Hong Kong dollars. If you want, I'm happy to send you a link to buy these wines after. I've got no problem doing that. And I'll give you a code as well, which will give you a special discount, a wine masterclass discount. So maybe I'll just send an email to everyone that attended, a special link with a huge discount on these wines. But I would say this is about undiscounted, 400 or 500. This one here is around 350, 300. And this is probably somewhere in between, maybe closer to Zibibbo. So not cheap, not super expensive, but what you're getting is some of the best orange wines in the world. And with this one here, I would probably pair it with some cheese, something bold. It's not exactly a fresh Zibibbo you can drink by itself, but this one I would have with a little bit of cheese, something like that, something yummy, something naughty, I think. So any questions about this one, or we'll get on to the next, which is super, super important. No questions? Off dry? Is it off dry?
No, Alex is asking if it's sweet wine or off dry.
I would say off dry. Yeah, absolutely. Off dry. It's not a sweet wine. It looks and smells like it, but it has that.
It has the pleasant sweetness, but
Yeah.
you can't tell it's sweet.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a super sweet wine.
No, it's not.
All right. So now we're getting on to the exciting part. This is what I've been waiting for, and I can't wait to show it to you guys because it's something I'm really, really proud of. Okay. So this is a special attendee offer. Okay. This is something that if you didn't attend, you don't have access to. So you guys are very, very lucky. And I want to thank you for sticking with me. I've got an important question for you. Have you ever panicked when someone handed you a wine list? Or have you ever worried what your partner, friends, or colleagues think of your wine choice? Maybe you felt a little bit overwhelmed when you're trying to buy wine and you end up just picking the pretty label off the shelf. Or maybe you're sick of drinking the same safe wines, Sauvignon Blanc, Pinot Grigio, over and over again, and you want to try something new, but you don't know where to start. Or maybe you just think, I'm not a wine person. I can't taste what everyone else is tasting, so maybe I'm just not the type of person that can get into wine. If you answered yes to any of those, I've got some news for you. I felt exactly the same way, right? And as I mentioned in the beginning, I run a wine company, okay? So I really, really felt like an imposter because I'm not a sommelier. I've never gone to wine school. I never properly studied wine, anything like that. But after years and years of feeling like an outsider, I finally realized something that literally changed the way I understood, and more importantly for me, enjoyed wine. And I'm about to punch the dummy John over. It changed the way I enjoyed wine, okay? Wine is just grape juice, right? And anyone, I mean this, can become a grape juice expert. You just need the right teachers, okay? So I started talking to everyone I could, sommeliers, winemakers, wine lovers, experts from around the world. And I took all of their knowledge, all of the confusing wine jargon, the complex concepts, and turned it into a simple and easy to understand language. And then I started teaching people about wine, right? And instead of trying to talk about wine like, master sommelier, very technical, I started talking about wine like someone who simply enjoys it. I simplified the way I talked about wine so that everyone, whether they were a complete beginner or a long-term wine lover, could understand it. And people loved it, right? In fact, they loved it so much that they voted my wine company as the #1 Italian wine company in Hong Kong and Macau in 2017. And then again in 2019, we were initiated into the Hall of Fame. Okay. So now I'm working on my next big chapter. And this is something that has really got me buzzed up and I'm so excited to bring to you. Because after a while, I realized that most of you only have two options if you want to learn more about wine. You can spend years and years trying to teach yourself about wine like I did, or you can spend a lot of money on outdated programs and exams. And to be honest, in my opinion, both of those options suck, okay? They're no fun, right? And wine should be fun. So I came up with something better, something that's going to help you become a wine expert in hours, not years, and it's going to save you thousands of dollars in the process. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce the Wine Expert course. So what is the Wine Expert course? Well, it's a shortcut that will help you become an instant wine expert so you can enjoy wine with confidence and deepen your appreciation for this absolutely positively delicious drink, right? Because the more you know about wine, the more you enjoy it. So even if you're a complete beginner, you have zero wine knowledge or no idea where to start, this course is going to guide you every step of the way with simple and easy to understand language. And after completing the course, you're going to be able to explore and taste new wines with confidence. Pick the perfect wine for any occasion, birthday, business meeting, whatever it is. You're going to be able to select wines, amazing wines from the restaurant wine list with confidence. You're going to be able to save money because you'll be able to sniff out wine bargains wherever you go. You'll be able to read and understand the wine labels with ease. You're going to be able to taste like a pro at home and create your own scoring system. You're going to be able to avoid the most common pitfalls that people make that you might be making, but you don't know about. And if you want, of course, in typical wine snob fashion, you can show off a little bit to impress your friends and family. Okay. So I want to summarize what is included in the Wine Expert course. So you get 4.5 hours of on-demand video lessons. You get lifetime access to the course. You get lifetime access to the entire Wine Masterclass platform. You get direct email support from me personally, and I'm also going to put in live chat, so it's even quicker. And you get a certificate of completion. Now, when this course launches on the 17th of April, which happens to be my birthday, so I'm super excited, the course is going to cost $299 US, okay? And at this price, it's an absolutely incredible deal. The value you're getting is just worth, in my opinion, thousands of dollars more. But the fact that you're still watching tells me that you're eager to learn more about wine, okay? So as a special treat for everyone still watching, I'm going to give you an incredible one-time offer. I'm going to cut the price by $221 and give you full access to the Wine Expert course for just $78. But I want to go even further. I'm not stopping there because I'm a little bit overexcited and I want to give you guys as much value as possible. So what I'm going to do is, because I know you're going to love this course, I'm going to give you 100% money back guarantee. So if you're not satisfied for any reason between now and when it launches, including 30 days after it launches, I'm going to give you a full refund. I'm not even going to ask why you want a refund. I'm just going to refund you, okay? So you get a 30-day, 100% money back guarantee. Now, the only reason I'm doing this crazy offer is because I stand behind my course 100%. I know how to teach wine in a simple and easy to understand way. And if you take this course, you're going to become a wine expert in no time. And you're really going to deeply understand it, which is going to make your experience of wine for the rest of your life really, really enjoyable. Okay. So here's the summary. For just $78, you get the 4.5 hour on-demand video lessons. So Nat, if you want to launch the link, you can click the link that we've just launched now. Okay. So click the link below. If you want to sign up, I highly encourage you to do it. This offer is not going to last that long, but you can click the link below. And what you get is 4.5 hours of on-demand video lessons. You get lifetime access to this course. You get lifetime access to the entire Wine Masterclass platform. And we're going to continue to update both the course and the platform every month, every week. You're going to be locked in for life, right? So you can just access any of the additional bonuses we give you. It's going to be fantastic. Like I said, you get direct email support. You get a certificate of completion. And of course, you have 100% money back guarantee. So if for any reason you don't enjoy it, or you don't like it, or you don't think you're learning from it, or you just think you made a bad decision, I'll give you your money back. I don't need to ask why, right? My job is to teach you about wine. And if you don't think you're learning, then you're more than welcome to ask for a refund. I have no problems doing that, okay? So the course launches on the 17th of April. But this particular deal for $78 is, I'm going to essentially shut it down by mid next week, okay? So you don't have a lot of time because, to be honest, $78 is pretty ludicrous. A discount of $220 is almost unheard of. Okay, so I don't want you to miss out. I know you're still here because you're interested in learning about wine. So I want you to click the link below, enroll in the course, and it's gonna help you embark on a magical wine journey that you're gonna love for the rest of your life. Okay, so we're gonna go into the Q&A. But before we get into the Q&A, I want to make one thing clear again, okay? This offer, it's not going to last. You can click the link below to enroll. I suggest you do it now, and it's not going to last. I don't want you to miss out. So grab your wine glass, get ready to embark on a magical wine journey into the world of wine, okay? So, Nat, we have some questions, I think. Do you have any questions?
Yep. I have some questions about the course. Jamie is asking if I don't like the course or already know everything that's in the course.
So the question is, what if I don't like it? Well, if you don't like it, then I'll give you money back. There's no reason for me to. The whole point is I want to make it fun, and I want you to learn. So if you don't find it fun and you're not learning, then within 30 days of when the course starts, I can give you your money back. There's no problem there. So.
Second question is, Jack was asking, when does the course start and finish?
When does it start and finish? Okay. So the course launches on my birthday on the 17th of April, and it starts and finishes whenever you want it, right? So it's self-paced. You can do 1 lesson a day. You can do 10 lessons a day. You can do whatever you want. You take it as you want. There's no defined start and finish, but it launches on the 17th of April.
Marie is asking, what are the requirements for this course?
The requirements, well, like I said, nothing. You just got to be a wine lover, and you want to be hungry to learn. Okay, if you're interested in wine, like I know a lot of you are, that's the only requirement. You just have to be eager to learn, willing to learn, and I guess besides that, maybe just a wine glass or some wine. That's it. Yeah.
And another question from Jack: how does the guarantee work?
How does the guarantee work? Okay, so the guarantee, the way it works is you can sign up now, and between now and when it launches on the 17th, if you want your money back, I can give you a full refund. There's no problem. And then once it launches from the 17th, for 30 days after you start the course, if you still find you're not learning, which I highly doubt because this course is amazing, but if you think you're not learning about wine, you're not deepening your appreciation for it, I'll be happy to give you your money back. That's the thing. No questions. Happy to do it. So.
No questions more so far?
No questions? All right.
Yeah.
Well.
We answered them also.
Answered them all? Okay, beautiful. All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for attending today. I'm going to close the webinar off here. I want to thank you for attending. If you are interested in the Wine Expert course and you want to learn more, I really encourage you to click the link below and sign up. It's going to be an amazing course, and it's going to set you off on a magical wine journey for the rest of your life. And I can tell you from the bottom of my heart, when I really started to understand wine and when I learned about it, it's developed an entire section of my life that just brings me so much joy, right? I have so much passion for wine now, and a lot of that is because I was able to understand it and really see how magical it is. I mean, you heard the stories today of all the different wineries. There's no other product really in the world that gives you this sort of enjoyment for life. I mean, you can enjoy wine, to your last days. So I suggest you get started on that journey today. I want you to click the link below. I would love to see you on the inside. And from Nat and I, we want to thank you for joining us today. We hope it brought you a lot of value, and we hope you enjoyed. Thanks, guys. We'll see you later.
See you next time.
Thank you so much.